So a game format that I'm fond of is the sort of hidden object game, where you have a bunch of things that you can find on the screen somewhere by clicking on them, and there's different kinds of hidden object games. There's the ones where you just find particular items buried in a mass of other items, and I like those a lot. But then there's also this kind of hidden object game where you're finding clues, in this case kind of text clues amongst a bunch of things, and then there's a second stage where you assemble those clues into a script, and that script, if you're correct with it, will take you through to the next level. There's no real time limit or anything like that, so this is what I think of as a relaxing game, and there's good music and things like that, which is important for games like this, although I've turned the music off because copyrights. But this is a game by a dev that we've already looked at. It's very similar to the other game, although I don't think the stories are connected. They have different sort of feels. And as you can see on the screen, it's kind of like a demo for their main story, which is on Steam. You can wishlist it and go and have a look. I don't know if it's been released there yet, but yeah. Anyway, there it is. This one is called We Suspect Foul Play, and it's a pretty classic detective story. I'm going to jump in, show you some gameplay, and then I will offer a little bit of critique, but not too much because this is already pretty polished. So let's start the game, and we have an annoying sound, which is a ringing phone waking us up early in the morning. So you're a detective. If you click on the underlined thing, it gets added to your list of clues. Start is another clue, and then you can drag start to start the game, and that's kind of a demo of the game mechanic. Let's click on this to stop the horrible ringing, and we have a phone call at some horrible hour of the morning. The guy says, "Hey, it's Mitch. We caught another one in the same neighborhood. I need you there pronto." So we have collected 3 clues. Where are those clues going? We shall find out in a moment. The next thing we can interact with is the light. Turn the light on and it lights up the side of the room. And we have 2 new interactables, this newspaper and this folder. The folder we need to collect because that is our clues folder. And if we open it, we see we have collected 5 clues. We need 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's a total of 14 that we can collect. So let's collect the rest of the clues. The only other thing interactable in the room is the newspaper. And here we have found. Yesterday's rags full of empty tales. Every column's a reminder. Another sucker found. Another day down the drain. These technically aren't clues in the purest sense. They're not necessarily for the mystery that we're looking at, but they're words that we need to collect so we can correct a script and get to the next level, if that makes sense. Click on an article. Hollywood is stunned. Young starlet Ursula Queen meets a gruesome end in her home in Eastmont. Oh, Ursula Queen. Chinatown stir gets bigger. Can Marla, the new LAPD chief, really get to the bottom of LAPD's problems? And I think a third one. Luxurious cars, many boyfriends, and expensive jewelry. Lead actress of Spy on the Moon leads a fast life. So we have collected 14 out of 14 clues just by clicking on them. Now we do the slightly trickier task of assembling them into the script that starts, that gets us through to the next level. Okay, so after Ursula Queen, another actress was found dead in, I think Eastmont was the place. Let's choose Chinatown just for the demonstration purposes. I better get there fast. Right, the moment we fill in all of the clues, it gives us a little bit of information. If several of them wrong, it will say something like this doesn't make much sense. But if only a couple are wrong, it will tell us that we're only 1 clue away, and we know that Eastmont is actually where she was found. And we've finished the level. You were woken up in the middle of the night by the sound of the telephone. Another murder has happened. You grab your stuff and hurry to the crime scene. Alright, so so let's go to the next level and we can have a look at the crime scene. We have a very freshly deceased young lady some other things that we can interact with, and we can scroll to look around the room for some more things to interact with, and we can actually click on the door to go through to another room with some local staff that we can talk to and get more information from. So yes, again, just giving an example of the gameplay. If we click on her, we get a few items. First of all, the watch, which tells us that the watch was broken at 1 a.m. Always a very convenient trope in sort of detective fiction, where a timepiece was destroyed and stopped working, and you can get the exact time of death. Usually suggesting that the time of death is important in some way, but I have seen stories where that was actually a false clue, a red herring to confuse the detective. We also get the fact that, well, we find out her name is Mary Kendrick, and she is requesting a divorce. Apparently she's taking all the money in the house with her. Maybe the poor sucker gets the dogs. No, she's deader than my Aunt Mirtha, reeks of booze too. So she died drinking booze. And just for more demonstration, if we go through and talk to the people, we seem to get 2 bits of information. Firstly, what the person says: I'm Beth, I was really shocked to see what happened to her. Yeah, she looks shocked, alright. And in this case, we also got a little note relevant to her that was presumably found some way. Before you had been hired, this was a respectable house. You've turned into a brothel. Have you thought of what would happen if I told Mrs. Hendrick about you and the old guy? Putting you in trouble would be real easy, says H. And if we click on the chef, we find his name is Henry, so he is presumably the H yelling at the maid. My name is Henry, sir. Such a shame the owner died. He looks angry at the fact that he had been woken in the middle of the night than of her death. So Mrs. Mary Hendrick is presumably not well liked, but nevertheless she has died. And there we go. I have another clue here, so we can get their names. Like the maid is B. Curry, so it's Beth Curry. The chef is Henry Burr. Yeah, so this is how you collect bits and pieces of information. There's 34 clues that you can collect. You definitely won't need all of them, but they do put the story together. And I'm going to leave the gameplay there because we don't really. This is quite a short story, and I don't want to leave any spoilers. So, if you are here for the gameplay, I hope that convinces you to come and look at it. The link will be in the description as per standard practice. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a subscribe if you want to see more itch.io games reviewed by me. Trying to get better at it. And most importantly, leave a comment, because that trains YouTube into giving you more videos about game reviews, which you presumably like because you clicked on this one. So yeah, tell me what you think. Tell me how you enjoyed the game if you comment after playing it. Anything, whatever inspires you. But either way, whatever happens, thank you for watching. I do appreciate it, and I hope to see you in the next video. Now, for those who are sticking around for the critique, well, I don't really have a lot. The game trains you quite well on how to play it with that little sort of intro that's really a sort of a tutorial. The UI is very comfortable. I like the way this is discreetly down the corner. I like the way you click on things to get clues. As I said, these aren't really the clues that are necessarily relevant to teaching you what happened, but they're clues that you then, they're hidden objects, but rather obvious, not really particularly hidden. They're objects that you click on to build a portfolio that you then use to fill in the story. And that's really the detective element, is figuring out who the different people are and the different sort of details of it and filling it in. And once that's finished, then you solve the case, as it were. And I like that. It's a good mechanic. I would like it if there were more things to interact with. I think it's my main critique, is I would like to be able to touch on more of the game, more of the map. I want to open things. Let's just click on the magazine there. I want to be able to open this drawer. I want to be able to look in the piano. I want to be able to go through a lot more of these cupboards. I'd like more of the house to look at. Spread the clues out a bit further with more more decor and things like that. But this is meant to be just a short game, really kind of advertising their main game in a way, I believe. And you know, as an experience, it's fine. It's fun. It's enjoyable. Um, so I do heartily recommend it. So come and give it a game. The art is fantastic. I mean, we've got we've got this kind of noir-esque effect. We've got good colors that I hope are suitable for colorblind players. That can be a tricky task in itself, but they've got good good sort of definitions, good distinctions. I think this will be playable. I hope. The game feeling is great. Everything is interactable. I enjoyed it a lot. The UI is great. I was able to turn off the music. It was a very neat little credits page. It did sort of not close properly when you click on something else, but that was fine. I got around it. So yeah, this is a really good, well designed little mini game. Well done, devs. You've neatened this up really nicely. It's a game that's been around for a while. I think it was first published like a year ago or something like that, but it has a recent update a few days ago, which is why it appeared on my radar. And I like it. If I do have one possibly actually useful criticism, it is that is the lore, is the depth of the lore, and look, because this is such a short game, I can easily sort of see that the devs wouldn't want to spend too much time and effort on the lore, but it would be nice to know who I am, why I'm being called. I don't know if I'm a professional detective or a private detective. By professional I mean official, an actual police detective, or just a private detective. I don't know why I'm being called in. Am I Sherlock Holmes or Poirot sort of level of equivalence, where the poor dim cops can't solve the case and they need me. A bit more story, a bit more lore around that would be nice. Sort of telling me where I fit into the picture here. I don't know if this or the other game that I've played has any relevance to the actual Steam game, which I'm assuming is their main game. It would be nice if they're connected, but it's quite possible that they have no connection whatsoever. But it would have been nice if they were connected and these had some little Easter eggs that talk about the main game, something like that. I don't know, maybe they do, but anyway, that's my main critique, is I feel like I've stepped into a story and I don't have all of the story. But this is a very easy to learn how to play game. It's a neat little story. It's well encapsulated. It's well packaged. It's a good bit of detective fiction. So bravo, devs, on some really good work here. And that's it. That's where I'm leaving it. Come and play the game. Come and give the devs some love and support. Come and look at their main game. This is a well-made, smooth game, and it is a good sign that their purchasable stuff is worth purchasing. I believe if you're into detective fiction and sort of chill out, click on things games, I don't think you could go wrong with this one. So thumbs up. And that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and I will see you hopefully in the next video.